Somewhere right now, there is a file about your banking behavior, and you have almost certainly never seen it. It is not your credit report. It is a separate system, and banks check it before they let you in the door. I spent more than 20 years in banking, and I ran these screens every single week. I watched people with perfect credit get turned away from a basic checking account, and they never understood why. Today, I will show you the 7 ordinary mistakes that quietly fill that file, the hidden systems each one trips, and the 10-minute defense that keeps your name clean. Let us open the file. A quick note before we begin. I spent more than 20 years in banking, including about 10 years as a branch manager and district manager, but I am not your banker, your attorney, or your financial advisor, and nothing in this video is personal financial or legal advice. Some of these rules vary by state and by bank, so confirm the specifics for your own situation. And none of this is meant to scare you. Every mistake in this video has a simple fix, and I will give you all of them. Any stories come from real experience, with the details changed. With that said, mistake number 1. Mistake 1, walking away from an account that owes a few dollars. This is the one that fills the secret file fastest. Here is how it happens. A young man overdraws his college account by a small amount, moves away, and forgets it exists. The bank closes the account for him, writes off the balance, and reports it to a company called ChexSystems. ChexSystems is like a credit bureau, but for bank accounts. Most banks check it before opening one for you. Years later, he applies for a checking account with excellent credit and gets denied. That forgotten $40 followed him. A mark like that can sit in the file for about 5 years, so never abandon an account. Close it properly at 0 and keep the confirmation. I will show you how at the end. Mistake 2, letting an old account just sit there untouched. It feels harmless. It is not. First, come the inactivity fees. Many banks quietly charge accounts that show no activity, and small balances get eaten alive. But here is the part almost nobody knows. If an account sits untouched long enough, often a few years, the bank must hand it over to the state. It is called unclaimed property. Your money is not stolen, but it leaves the bank entirely, and getting it back means filing a claim with the state. I processed these handovers, and families were stunned to learn grandma's old savings had left the building years ago. The fix is one small transaction a year, or simply closing accounts you no longer use, and search your state's unclaimed property site tonight. There may be money waiting with your name on it. Mistake 3, keeping your everyday checking at the same bank where you have a loan. It feels convenient, but buried in your account agreement is a clause called the right of offset. If you fall behind on that loan, the bank can reach into your checking and take the payment. No call, no warning, no permission needed. It is legal in nearly every state because you agreed to it on page whatever of the paperwork. One bright note: federal rules mostly block banks from doing this to cover credit card debt. Loans are the exposure. The defense is simple separation. Keep the money you live on at one bank and the debts you owe at another. Different roofs, no reach. Mistake 4, and this one can turn innocent people into suspects, splitting up large cash deposits. Here is the background. Banks must file a routine report on cash transactions over $10,000. The report is normal, automatic, and harmless. But some people hear about the report and think, I will just deposit $9,000 today and $9,000 next week and avoid the paperwork. Please hear this clearly. Deliberately breaking up deposits to stay under the reporting line is itself a federal crime, even when the money is completely legitimate. It is called structuring. The pattern is exactly what bank systems hunt for, and I watched it freeze the accounts of honest people who thought they were being tidy. So the rule is beautifully simple. Deposit your money in whatever size it naturally comes in, and let the bank file its boring little report. The paperwork was never your problem. The dodge is. Mistake 5, adding your adult child to your bank account so they can help with bills. The intention is love. The legal reality is that a joint owner is a full owner. If your child gets sued, divorced, or falls behind on debts, their problems can reach into your money. And at your passing, that child owns everything in the account, even if your will says split it between the kids. I refereed those family fights, and they are ugly. If the goal is help with bills, use a power of attorney. If the goal is leaving them the money, use a free payable on death beneficiary form instead. Both give your family what you intended, without handing your account to anyone's creditors. Full ownership is for spouses. Everyone else gets the paperwork. Mistake 6. Treating overdraft coverage like a cushion instead of an alarm. One overdraft is an expensive mistake. A pattern of them is a signal, and the bank is watching the pattern. Accounts that overdraw again and again get closed by the bank, not by you. And an involuntary closure goes straight into that ChexSystems file for about 5 years, which means a rough season of small slip-ups can lock you out of ordinary banking long after your finances recover. 2 free settings change everything. Turn off debit card overdraft coverage, so an empty account simply declines instead of billing you. And turn on low balance alerts, so your phone taps your shoulder before the account runs dry. The cushion costs money. The alarm is free. Mistake 7. Ignoring mail and messages from your own bank. That boring envelope may be a deadline. Banks are required to verify who their customers are, and sometimes they must re-verify. An address, a document, a signature. Ignore those requests, and the bank does not shrug. It restricts the account and eventually closes it, often with a letter that explains nothing. And as we covered in Mistake 1, closures the bank initiates can follow you in the file. I signed those restriction orders. 9 times out of 10, the customer just never opened the letter. So treat bank mail like a smoke alarm. Probably nothing, but you always check. 2 minutes with an envelope can save your whole account. Now, about that file, here is what the banks do not advertise. You have rights over it. These banking files are consumer reports under federal law, the same law that governs your credit report. That means you can request your ChexSystems report for free every year. And there is a second company, Early Warning Services, that keeps a similar file. Request both. If you find an error, you can dispute it, and they are required to investigate, generally within about 30 days. And if a past mistake is real, you are still not locked out of banking. Many banks offer second chance accounts, built exactly for this. Run one cleanly for around a year and you graduate to a standard account. The file is not a life sentence. It is just a record, and records can be repaired. So here is the whole defense, and it takes about 10 minutes. First, request your 2 free banking reports and actually read them. Second, close old accounts properly. Bring the balance to exactly 0, ask for written confirmation of the closure, and keep it. Third, keep a small backup account at a second bank, so no single closure or freeze can strand your bills. Fourth, separate where you save from where you borrow. Decline the overdraft cushion and turn on the alerts. And fifth, open every piece of bank mail the week it arrives. Boring, I know, so is a smoke alarm right up until the night it matters. Do those 5 things, and every hidden system in this video becomes background noise. The file exists either way, yours will just be clean. So remember what fills the file. Walking away, owing a little, letting accounts go quiet, banking where you borrow, splitting up cash, adding a child as an owner, leaning on overdraft, and ignoring the mail. None of these are crimes of character. They are ordinary moves that trip systems nobody ever told you existed. Well, now someone has. 10 minutes of housekeeping, and the secret file stays empty. If someone you love has never heard of any of this, send them this video today and subscribe, because protecting your money is what we do here. I will see you in the next video.